I know it's been hard to find any kind of good news for the last, week or so at this point, but something really good did in fact happen this past week. Rudy Giuliani, the man formerly known as America's mayor. The entire world looked to him following the attacks of 9/11. His name was known in every corner of this planet, and he was revered for a short amount of time. But Rudy Giuliani's fall from grace continued this week, along with his public humiliation, when the First Department of the Appellate Division of the New York Supreme Court, very long title for this group, anyway, they officially stripped Rudy Giuliani of his law license for the state of New York, meaning he can no longer practice law in New York, even though he wasn't actively, doing cases. He now no longer has that option. He's done. But it's not just that they stripped him of his legal license for his attempts to overturn the results of the 2020 election. It's what they said in the ruling that's going to come back to haunt Giuliani, not just for his legacy, but in the other criminal cases that he is still facing. Let me read you some of this. Giuliani was charged with demonstrably false and misleading statements to courts in an attempt to return his client, former President Trump, to office. These false statements were made to improperly bolster respondents' narrative that due to widespread voter fraud, victory in the 2020 United States presidential election was stolen from his client. Regarding the proven charges, respondent essentially conceded most of the factual predicates supporting the alleged acts of misconduct as gathered from the stipulated facts, the documentary evidence, and the testimony presented. Which means Giuliani was basically like, all that stuff against me is right. Instead, respondent fundamentally presented the defense that he lacked knowledge that statements he had made were false, and that he had a good faith basis to believe the allegations he made to support his claim that the 2020 presidential election was stolen from his client. So Giuliani tried to use a "I'm pretty stupid" defense. He's like, hey, how was I to know? Because you're the lawyer. It's your job to gather the facts. Like, that is literally the job of the lawyer. But he's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm old. My hair is melting. The court continues. They rejected Giuliani's arguments and found that he made, quote, knowing falsehood, and each falsehood was made with the intent to deceive. Contrary to respondents' allegations, there is nothing on the record before us that would permit the conclusion that respondent lacked knowledge of the falsehood of the numerous statements that he made and that he had a good faith basis to believe them to be true. On the contrary, as the referee properly found, the 16 acts of falsehoods carried out by respondent were deliberate and constituted a transparent pattern of conduct intended and designed to deceive. Bye-bye law license, but more than likely, bye-bye freedom. Because this decision from that First Department of Division of the New York Supreme Court, whatever the hell their title is, no offense there, just shorten it a little bit, please. Anyway, that decision is going to be used against Rudy Giuliani in the criminal charges that he faces in both Georgia and Nevada. Because they're going to look at these things and say, oh, okay, these people knew, according to this court ruling, that everything they were saying was false. So when they tried to gather the fake electors, they knew it was all based on something that was not true. That is going to cause so much damage to any legal defense that Rudy Giuliani puts forward. And in addition to hurting Rudy Giuliani, it's going to hurt all of the other defendants. Or maybe it's going to help them, right? Because you could easily use that to say, hey, all of you knew this was false. But some of them are going to be able to say, I didn't know. Giuliani's the lawyer. He told me to do this. This is all on him. So this could result in more people flipping on Rudy Giuliani using that so-called advice of counsel defense, which could result in Rudy Giuliani being the only one getting sent to prison in those states. Either way, Giuliani's reputation is beyond repair at this point, and so too is his legal defense in those criminal cases that he's still facing. Well, folks, we have crossed that 1 million subscriber milestone, but rest assured, we are just getting started here at Ring of Fire. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and make sure to like, share, and comment on the videos.